So you're planning your wedding and you're thinking about how your morning might go. Here's a few tips that I have as a bridal makeup artist. Hi, my name's Lauren. I've been a bridal makeup artist for about 5 years. I've worked over 100 weddings, and here are a few things that I've learned along the way. When you're starting to think about your schedule for the day and how long applications are going to take, please just ask your makeup artist or hairstylist. This might seem like common sense, but I've had it several times now where either the bride or the wedding planner just kind of assumes how long that I'm going to take for the application. Makes a timeline for me, and then we end up having to go back and forth a lot adjusting the timing. So just save yourself the time and energy and just ask your makeup artist or hairstylist how long it's going to take, because at the end of the day, they're the only ones that are going to know for sure. Another thing to start considering is where everybody is going to get their hair and makeup done for the wedding. In my experience, especially around here in the Michigan area, a lot of our wedding venues won't even let people in until 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. unless they pay like an extra $1,000, which I understand is not in the budget a lot of the time. And if you've got a ceremony at 3 or 4 where you've got 10 ladies needing hair and makeup done, this creates a really tight timeline for everybody. And I have had it before where you can successfully move from one spot to another, or from like a hotel to a venue, and it just kind of adds a lot of unknown variables into it, like if somebody runs into traffic on the way or somebody forgets something. And honestly, it's just kind of stressful in of itself, like picking up everything and moving. So I recommend, if possible, just getting ready start to finish at one location, whether that's your hotel, Airbnb, or at the venue itself. And on that similar note, just build in a little bit of buffer time, even if you don't think you're gonna need it, just in general for your wedding day. Even if everything goes perfectly on time, it's nice to have like 10 to 15 minutes of a little bit of peace at the end of all the applications, just to sit for a second, have something to eat before you need to rush and change into your dress. If you want your photographer to come in and get pictures of you getting your makeup done, I would just add a few minutes into that for the schedule, or at least communicate with your photographer about it, about how they like to do it. Sometimes photographers do have candidates of that moment, but other times they want me or the hairstylist to pose or pretend that, you know, we're brushing your hair, we're just holding a brush up to your face like we're doing a touch-up or something. Yeah, that's something that you can talk to your photographer about, but that's just something to keep in mind, especially if you want like a lot of pictures of that process. Make sure that all of your bridesmaids and family members are prepped and ready to go for their makeup application. Making sure that everybody's properly removed all of their makeup from the night before. I can't tell you how many times I've had to take 5-10 extra minutes just like trying to get makeup off from the night before, from like a rehearsal dinner or even like a party. If you've got that for several people, it can really throw off the timeline. Make sure everybody comes in, they haven't done their makeup, there's nothing lingering from the night before, and that their skin is clean and moisturized. Also, if you or your bridal party have to do contacts, have to brush your teeth, have to use eye drops, please do that before the makeup starts. If you do it afterwards, you run the risk of potentially getting your eyes teary, or having, you know, if you messed up your lipstick while you're brushing your teeth. I don't know how somebody does that without messing up their lipstick, but it saves a lot of headaches, so I would just make sure you do that before you get into the makeup chair. And of course, another tip I'm sure you've heard before is to make sure everybody is wearing a button-down shirt, or at least a shirt or outfit that's very stretchy and easy to take off. This is of course so you don't mess up your hair and makeup when you're taking off your shirt and changing into your dress. I hope this isn't too much of a hot take, and I know it's easier said than done, but I'd really urge you to consider, if you've got any little kids or babies in your bridal party or your own children, I would think about having a family member or a sitter or a friend just watch them and take care of them for a few hours. When you've got really little kids, especially your toddlers, in a very small room filled with people, and it's really exciting and it's really fun at first, and then after a while they start getting tired and upset and cranky, and it kind of stresses out the mom and kind of other people in the room. Or honestly, even if they don't and they're really well behaved, I've had a few times where the mom is just terrified the kid is gonna running around and she's afraid they're gonna knock down the light, or they start reaching into my kid, or they keep running up to their mom in the makeup chair and wanting to be held. And I totally understand all of it. I know it's easier said than done, but I feel like when they've got somebody else watching them for that period of time, it just makes things flow a lot easier and it's a lot less stressful. Not to mention, especially with the really little ones or babies, you've got like that pack and play in the room. I don't know about the venues where you're at or you're choosing to get married at, but a lot of the venues around me, the getting ready space for the bridal party is already really small, and then you put those cribs or those pack and plays in the middle, and it just feel a little chaotic. And we're trying to keep a really relaxing, calming feel for a really big special day. Again, easier said than done, but just something to keep in mind. Another controversial, potentially, opinion that I have is if you have somebody in your bridal party, if it's your mom, if it's your friend, if it's your aunt, if they don't want makeup, please do not make them do it. 9 out of 10 times just works out for nobody. Because if you've got somebody who's very set in their mind that they don't want their makeup done, or they just want to do it their way, or whatever the thing is, usually I can't fix that. They're in my chair and it usually takes a lot longer to do the application because we keep having to like fix things or at least adjust things to make it feel more like them, or we're using products out of their makeup bag, and it just creates a lot of stress for everybody involved, especially if you got somebody who's kind of difficult to deal with, like an aunt or something. Just make it easier on yourself and everybody involved. Keep everybody happy. The pictures will still turn out beautiful, but yeah, I would just recommend if you've got somebody who really wants to do their own makeup or who doesn't want makeup at all, not worth the stress in my opinion. All right, once it's your turn, the bride getting your makeup done, please delegate your tasks for that hour and a half, however long it takes with your artist. It's to somebody else, either your maid of honor, your mom, or a family member. If you've got a day of coordinator or a wedding planner, even better. I know that's not in some people's budget, but really just making sure you're delegating a task while you're supposed to be relaxing and enjoying the process and getting ready. That can make a really big impact in your wedding day morning. And on a similar note, please just hand off your phone to somebody for a while. I know your phone is probably blowing up with family members asking you questions, maybe directions, vendors calling you, even just getting texts saying congratulations. It can still be a little overwhelming. And so if you've just got somebody who can take care of that, who can answer any questions just for that hour to the best of your ability, that's really going to make a big impact about how the morning goes. All right, my last tip, if you're going to be serving breakfast or snacks or lunch to your bridal party or your family, wherever everyone's getting ready, please just consider a little bit of what kind of food you'll be serving. Of course, we don't want anybody to be hungry. It's a very long day. People need to eat, need to get their energy. I understand that. But just think about maybe having like bite-sized foods or finger foods. For example, I've had a couple bridal parties that ordered like Pizza Hut on the day of their wedding. And no judgment against pizza. I love Pizza Hut, but on the day of the wedding, it's about the greasiest pizza known to man, I think. Whenever that happens, I inevitably have to like fix this whole area of somebody's face or their lipsticks in weird places. Think about just having like maybe like a charcuterie board with your cheese and meat so it's still filling, maybe sandwiches but cut into little pieces so you don't have a whole sub sandwich that you're trying to eat. It's just my last tip is just to be mindful about the kind of food that you're serving so you don't ruin all the makeup that we just spent so much time and energy on. All right, and those are all of my tips to help your wedding day go a little bit smoother. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any other questions that I can answer, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and happy wedding planning!